Investigators may have solved a cold case of a different kind, a mystery that dates back to the first atomic bomb explosion.
Scientists digging through a Los Alamos dump that goes back to the 1940s may have found a missing link to the legendary Manhattan Project. Dean Staley is on special assignment.
Long before they began digging up Los Alamos' nuclear past, officials talked to many of the lab's old-timers to get an idea of what they might find.
I've heard many stories about what could be in this landfill. Everything from an ambulance to a hearse to a couple of Sherman tanks. But the most persistent legend that we've come across is this truck that was used at the Trinity blast.
That monumental test took place near Alamogordo in the early morning hours of July 16, 1945. Less than a month before the U.S. dropped 2 nuclear bombs on Japan.
And the truck was then driven back up to Los Alamos, and for whatever reason, we're not sure why, was driven into the trench and just left there and then buried.
Late last week, the legend appeared to be confirmed when workers excavating this Manhattan Project dump bumped into something big.
On the surveillance camera, they could see, as they were digging around the object, that it was starting to look like an old vehicle.
The excavator then dragged the object to the surface.
And sure enough, it was what appears to be the front end of an old Chevrolet military truck. And you could see an engine block. You could see a steering column that was kind of bent. You could see some fender wheel well sort of looking things, a frame, very rusted.
The truck spent the last 65 years underground. New, it might have looked something like this.
During the 40s, early 40s, Chevrolet was making this inline 6-cylinder military truck for the military services during World War II. It was about the size of what a modern-day pickup would be.
Officials can't be sure if this truck was actually present during the Trinity test blast. It might have simply collected radioactive trash from Manhattan Project labs, making it the world's first nuclear garbage truck.
They were able to scan it with this radiation detector, and it showed very low levels of contamination.
Whatever its history, the truck has now been crushed and shipped off to another grave, this time at a licensed dump in Utah. When and if they find the Sherman tanks, we'll let you know. Dean Staley, KRQE News 13.
Probably not going to get too much for that truck on the used car market. $94 million in federal stimulus money is paying for that landfill excavation. When the site is officially clean, it will be given to Los Alamos County.